Shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rechakwadash. Double honors unto the apostles and elders, a great millstone, who rule well and teach well. Peace and salutations unto all the Akim, you brothers preaching this word in truth and in sincerity across the four corners of the earth. And shalom also unto the hopeful elect, you sincere believers scattered wherever you may be. Shalakim. And title of this one today, Lord willing, is going to be Focus on What You Have. And this one was actually inspired off of a quote I had from the, on my lock screen, I have a widget from the motivation app. And it was a spirit. I had saw it during the day, just wrote it down. And I got a little help from chat today. Basically just inputted the title and the precepts came out, you know, and it's a good tool to use, especially, you know, if you need a spark for a lesson. Hey, chat is right there, man. You know, the Lord provides ways for us, for the scriptures to come out, for the sheep to be fed. All right, so Lord willing, this will all come together and be edifying and exhorting onto you. So I actually wanted to start here in the book of Luke, chapter 12 and verse 15, because that was also the spirit I was reading the book of Proverbs, and Lord willing, we'll grab it after this. But it lines right up with it. It's Luke 12 and 15. It says, "And he said unto them, Take heed and beware of covetousness, for a man's life consisteth not in the abundance of things which he possesseth." In the AMP, it says, Then he said to them, Watch out and guard yourselves against every form of greed. For not even when one has an overflowing abundance does his life consist of, nor is it derived from his possessions. Because people think in this world gain is godliness. All right, people think because they have all these different possessions, all these different toys, all these different dainties, like they mean something, you know? When really, like the scriptures say, a lot of them were just born in vain. But here it is. You have those particular individuals, these people, Jakes, that want to push all their possessions, all their materialistic shit in front of your face just to flex, you know, as an ego trip for them, you know, spike their ego. And in a sense of pride, thinking that they're better than the next person just because they have these particular things, you know, when all is vanity of vanities. And Lord willing, we'll go into it. All right, but this is, I'm going to go to this here, Proverbs 23, because a lot of them individuals, hey, they're getting it off of ill-gotten gain. They got it by ill-gotten gain, especially Esau, Edom. And then the wicked of our people who come in that spirit. All right, they're of their father, the devil. But this is Proverbs 23 and 17. It says, Let not thine heart envy sinners, meaning your mind. So don't envy sinner. Lord is telling us here, don't envy the sinners. It says, But be thou in the fear of the Lord all the day long. It says, For surely there is an end, and then expectation shall not be cut off. Yeah, so in the AMP it reads, Do not let your heart envy sinners who live godless lives and have no hope of salvation. So here it is. They have all these particular things in this life, in this current life, in this current evil world that's bound to perish. Yet they have no hope of salvation. Right? They have and want nothing to do with the Lord. They want nothing to do with the scriptures. You know, they fan the hand away from the prophets. And they live godless lives. They do as they please. They do as they wish. Do as thou wilt. Right? It says, but continuing on in that Proverbs 23 and 17 in the AMP. But continue to live in the reverent, worshipful, Fear of the Lord day by day. So the Lord's basically telling us, you know what I'm saying, don't worry about them and what they have going on. Don't envy them. No need to envy, right? Because what we have is going to outlast whatever they may have on this side. Ours is going to be 144 times better. And then some. You know what I mean? Like in the kingdom of heaven, hey, what it say? The first shall be last and the last shall be first. All right, continuing on in the AMP. Surely there is a future and a reward, and your hope and expectation will not be cut off. You see, but their expectation will be cut off. They're hoping in a ship that's sinking, and really they have no hope. All right. They do have a reward, and it's going to be an evil reward, lest they repent. All right, but that's why the scriptures say also it is easier for a camel to go through the eye of a needle than a rich man to enter into the kingdom. You know, because they got all that baggage. Right? They have all these different possessions. Their mind isn't geared, fixated on the Lord. They're in the now. They're in the present. Or really, and they're having a hope in the future in this place when there is no hope in this place. This place is bound to perish, is bound to burn up, and all the possessions along with it. You know. Now, don't get me wrong. It's okay to have certain things, right? Certain nice things. You know, Jake likes what they like and they're into what they're into. However, being in the right mindset, being in the right mind frame, we understand that all these things could be taken away from us in a blink of an eye, and we won't bat an eye, right? Our main objective, our main focus, our main love is Yahweh Ba'Hashem Yahushai, and in serving him. All right, everything else is just, you know, pluses, right? Certain things, it's a plus. It could be taken away from you, and that's okay. All right, we're not to have love for these, you know what I'm saying? Not getting attached to these possessions and materialistic shit and, you know, whatever. Nothing comes before Yahweh Ba'Hashem Yahushai, essentially. Right? So the Spirit kind of took it that way. Hey, but we'll go back into this. All right. Let's go to Ecclesiastes 6 and 9, because topic being focused on what you have. Basically, that's the Spirit. I was talking about this, I don't know if it was yesterday or today. But basically just being more grateful, you know, speaking first and foremost onto myself. I was thinking like, damn, bro, like, you know, we have all these different luxuries and we tend to overlook them, you know, because we live our day-to-day lives, and sometimes it be in a, you know, just the constant motion, your constant routine, you know. But we're in a decent case. Not to say we're still in hell, don't get me wrong, but it could be worse, you know. And the Lord shows favor and grace and mercy unto us daily. All right, but we should be appreciative of what we have, especially this truth. All right, but even on a carnal level or on a carnal playing field, the little things you do have, you know what I'm saying? Just carnally, clothes, food, running water, you know, hot shower, things of that nature, a nice clean bed, right? Somewhere to lay your head at night. You know, these are blessings from Yahweh Ba'Hashem Yahushai. But let's get this here, Ecclesiastes 6 and 9. And it says, stop looking outward. Constant desire for more blinds you to present blessings. And that wraps up Esau Edom in a nutshell. You know, they have a constant desire. They have more than hearts could wish. Yet, they're never going to be satisfied. They're that greedy niggard, you know, that constantly wants more. Hell, they want to profit off of what the Lord made free for everyone on this earth. But this is Ecclesiastes 6:9. It says, better is the sight of the eyes than the wandering of the desire. This is also vanity and vexation of spirit. AMP reads, what the eyes see, enjoying what is available, is better than craving what the soul desires. Okay, it says this too is futility and chasing after the wind, right? Because, what you can see, what you can't touch, you can enjoy it in the moment. But craving what the soul desires, you craving after it, lusting after it, you imagine it in your mind. What does that get you? You can't see it, you can't touch it, you can't, you know what I'm saying? But that eventually is going to lead you to, it could lead to covetousness. That constant desire, constant, like we just talked about at camp, bro. Love not the world and other things that are in the world. It's a constant hamster wheel when you're trying to run after the flesh. There's going to be that constant void because you're in the flesh. You want what the flesh wants. That's why these people that don't have a backbone, that don't have Yahweh Bashem Yahushua on their side, that's why when the system collapses, and things don't go back to normal, and they're really not now, but they have that constant craving after the next fix. When they don't get that, or when things aren't supplied as they used to, they're going to be in pitiful case. All right, they're going to see it. Once they see it, then they're going to believe it. And by then it's going to be too late. All right, because they weren't storing up their treasures in heaven. They were storing up where moth and rust doth corrupt. And it's all going to be to their ruin, man, basically. The constant desire, serving mammon instead of the Most High. They're always looking, to get up in the society. We're looking unto the kingdom of heaven. All right. Next bullet point says, recognize what you already have. It quotes Exodus 4:2. It says Moses already had the tool, the rod. The power wasn't in getting something new. It was in using what was given. And let's go to that. This is when the Lord, I'll just read, let me start at 1. Exodus 4:1. And Moses answered and said, but behold, they will not believe me, nor hearken unto my voice. For they will say, the Lord Yahweh hath not appeared unto thee. And the Lord Yahweh said unto him, what is that in thine hand? And he said, a rod. And he said, cast it on the ground. And he cast it on the ground and became a serpent. And Moses fled from before it. And this also goes to show you that the Lord can use certain things, certain people to show his power. All right, we're coming into them times too. Acts 2.0, speaking as a man, right? Acts 2.0 to where, these believe through faith, man. Some men upon this earth are going to be blessed and endowed with that spiritual power. And the Lord is going to work through these men, for miracles, for healings, for signs. Yeah, that was basically it. Continue on. I'm going to read to 5. Exodus 4:3. Exodus 4:4 again. 4:3. I started 3 again. It says, and he said, cast it on the ground. He cast it on the ground and became a serpent. And Moses fled from before it. And the Lord said unto Moses, put forth thine hand and take it by the tail. And he put forth his hand and caught it, and it became a rod in his hand. It says that they may believe that the Lord Yahweh, power of their fathers, the power of Abraham, the power of Isaac, and the power of Jacob, hath appeared unto thee. Yeah, so he used that rod what he had. He didn't give him anything new. For that token, that the Lord was with Moses. All right. So the point was, recognize what you already have. And it says, next one, be content with it. Hebrews 13:5. Let's go there. And you could apply this to this truth, right? To your gifts that you may have. You could apply this onto your daily life. We could apply this onto our daily life, like the the carnal things that we may have, be content with it. Some brothers may have more, some brothers may have less, and that's okay. All right, but we have to and be mindful on the way you use it, who you use it on, and what you use it for. And we'll say, know whom to thou givest. But Hebrews 13:5, it says, let your conversation be without covetousness, and be content with such things as ye have. For he hath said, I will never leave thee, nor forsake thee. Dan is mighty. AMP says, let your character, your moral essence, your inner nature, be free from the love of money. Shun greed. Be financially ethical, being content with what you have, for he has said, I will never under any circumstances desert you, nor give you up, nor leave you without support, nor will I in any degree leave you helpless, nor will I forsake or let you down or relax my hold on you, assuredly not. So know that the Lord's got you through it all, bro. We have to have faith. And that's what it goes into as well, having faith that the Lord is going to provide, and he's going to make a way. Even if you don't have it in the moment and you can't see a way out, the Lord will provide a way out, bro, if you continue to serve him, to continue to seek him. You know, he'll send somebody your way. He'll send brothers your way. He'll stumble across somebody. Again, it may seem loom and gloom, and you may not know the way right away. But he'll send an angel. He'll send support. I still remember to this day, bro. I've told it before. Testimony, quick one. To make the story short, so basically, I was traveling with my family. It was a few years ago. We were coming back from, I believe it was Mexico. Traveling with my family. It was a group of us. Anyways, we get to Dallas. Not sure where we're going. It's a new airport. It was a connecting flight. All right, so we get off. Boom. We're just trying to follow the signs and because it's a big airport. But they have the different shuttles, like the trains that take you from place to place. So we get off at this one, trying to like maneuver, navigate the signs and shit. And this dude was come across this guy. Could have been an angel to this day, still, could be an angel. Anyways, he seen that we was in a group, kind of seen that we were lost, trying to find our way. And I guess he seemed like a businessman, or, he'd been there before. He's like, oh, blah, blah, blah. Kind of told him the situation. Yeah, we need to go here. Okay, yeah. Just go this way, go up the stairs, and boom, you'll be, on your way. And then we get there. He ends up going the same way, sees us again. And he's like, yeah, come this way. Follow me, basically. Boom. Go there. and then sends us another way. He's like, yeah, go up these steps. And, your gate should be, you'll be coming up on your gate. Just go up these steps. He was going the other way or went somewhere else. And mind you, we were running late through it all. Like through that time, we were cutting it close on the plane taking off. But since we were a group, we finally got there to the gate. The attendant, what do you call it? The worker, basically, that, checking you in, taking your boarding passes and stuff. We finally get up there. Boom. He's still there. They haven't closed the door yet. He basically confirmed our last thing. He's like, okay, blah, blah, blah. He's like, yeah, we was waiting on you. Come on. Like, let's go. So we made it, man, through the grace and mercy of the Lord. And, we get on. And actually, I didn't see it in the moment. It was my mother. She's like, that was our guardian angel. I'm like, damn, looking back. But it's beautiful, bro, because, you just don't know. You never know. But the Lord is guiding our steps daily, as the scriptures say, man's goings are of the Lord. How then can a man understand his own way? So know that the Lord sees all. Know that he's got your back. Know that, whatever you're going through, it's already written for you to go through it. All right, he's going to make a way of escape. Okay? So be content with the situation you're at and try to make the most of it. Focus on what you have. It says, be faithful over it. Luke 16:10. Increase comes after stewardship, not before. Let's see what that says real quick. It might say the same as... Actually, I'll just read this one. And then that'll be it. Luke 16:10. It says, he that is faithful in that which is least is faithful also in much. And he that is unjust in the least is unjust also in much. And it says, increase comes after stewardship, not before. So be faithful over with what we have. It says, then the increase comes, Matthew 25. And that's the parable. All right. We don't got to grab it, but we'll just get the synopsis, basically, man. Just an overview. It was five wise and five foolish, but then it also goes into, the talents, man. So I'll actually get this one. And you could read this in your own time, but I'll jump down to this here. It says, I'm going to read this in the AMP, Matthew 25:29. It says, for to everyone who has and values his blessings and gifts from the Most High and has used them wisely, more will be given, and he will be richly supplied, so that he will have an abundance. But from the one who does not have, because he has ignored or disregarded his blessings and gifts from the Most High, even what he does have will be taken away. And throw out the worthless servant into utter darkness. In that place of grief and torment, there will be weeping over sorrow and pain and grinding of teeth over distress and anger. It says, but when the Son of Man comes in his glory and majesty and all the angels with him, then he will sit on the throne of his glory. All right. And that's more so referring on to the ministry, bro. So we got to continue in the work, man. That being most importantly. Continue in the work. All right. And eventually we'll get the increase and to hell with rank. And you know what I'm saying? Rank is just for order's sake. However, we're all fighting for our own penny, but for the same penny. All right. Work out your own salvation with fear and trembling. But we're also working towards the same goal at hand, man. That's the kingdom. That's salvation. All right, trying to please Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. All right. We'll get our increase in due time, and we'll continue to grow in due time. We just, keep praying, keep working, and the Lord is going to give the increase. All right, the Lord will give you glory in due time. We're not trying to seek glory now in this world. The Lord has to get his glory first, and then we'll receive ours. That's why, envy not the sinners. We're going to get ours in due time. We just got to be patient, continue to work, and Lord will, he counts us worthy, and we're going to escape. We're going to escape from Babylon and be delivered, or wherever we may be upon this earth, man. Lord's will, we're a part of the elect. All right, so, with that, Lord willing, this all came together. It was edifying. I know it kind of jumped around and made different points, but Lord willing, it was all cohesive. Was exhorting and edifying onto you again. I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahushai, Bahasham, Rachakodash. Double honors again unto the apostles, elders, the great millstone, Shalom, Wa, Kwam Yasharala, Wa, Abba, Babal, soon.